We're going to go through all of your WWE surprises, returns, leaks, and more here on the WrestleTalk Podcast Team Danuke Show with a bit of a twist. I am Luke Owen, DAD, your Jam That Champion, and I am joined by the wonderful and Jamble entrant, the number 1 and 2 Jamble entrant, Angela from Hobby Night. Angela, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
It's awesome to have you on the show. We were going to do a show together last year.
We were.
Because I messaged you on Discord. And then about 2 weeks later, you messaged me back on Discord being like, I don't check Discord that much.
Yeah. I was really bad about it then. I'm better now.
Yeah. So when we were arranging for Angela to be in the Jamble, I messaged you on Discord. And then I hopped into your DMs on Twitter and I was like, just to let you know, I've messaged you on Discord. But we'll keep this Twitter DM open. And what we'll do is we'll just let each other know whenever we message each other. Whenever we reply on Discord, we'll always just let each other know that we're also replying each other in Twitter DMs as well.
The 2 places I check the least.
I'm not on Instagram, Angela. I can't help you there, dude.
I understand. I live on Instagram, though. So if you ever want to find me and chat with me about wrestling, you can find me there.
But also we can talk to you about board games as well.
Yes, and board games and miniatures and Warhammer and animation and comic books. I mean, I like a lot of things.
I mean, I was going to message you anyway because I was a huge Necromunda player back in my teenage years.
Yeah.
That original Necromunda run. Oh, sweet. Love
it. I admit, though, I like what they're coming out with now, though. The models are pretty cool now.
I've not played it since like the mid 2000s.
Oh, I haven't played any of the modern Necromunda or anything at all either. I just collect some of the models because I have an obsession.
Well, we're going to be talking about the Royal Rumble today, and this episode is sponsored by wine52.com/WrestleTalk. You can get yourself, if you're a UK viewer, a free case of wine. You get 3 bottles. All you got to do is pay for that sweet postage and packaging, and 3 bottles of wine will be sent directly to your front door. If you like red, just pick the red box. If you like white, just pick the white box. If you like both, pick the mixed box. We have gone for the mixed box here, and I've got this beautiful red Portuguese wine that I am super looking forward to having on the Rumble stream.
I was going to say, is that the one?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's
nice.
The one. I've been saving it. Cannot wait to dive into it. So we're going to be talking about the Royal Rumble today. First off, on the Eddie Kingston thing. Sorry that didn't happen, everyone. I know everyone was very excited about Eddie Kingston. We were also very excited about it as well. Everyone is very apologetic that it didn't go ahead. We are looking to reschedule it, though. It could potentially even be next Friday. So we are looking to reschedule it. If you did get your Ultra Chat in, it will be saved for next Friday, unless you want a refund, in which case, please do email support@wrestletalk.com and we will sort that out for you. Again, apologies. Eddie will be on the show. We will make it happen. AEW are very keen to make it happen, so we will get it done. On to Rumble stream reactions and all that sort of jazz. Angela, Are you excited for the Royal Rumble this year?
I actually am. I wasn't originally, because I will admit, I don't really watch much WWE anymore. Like, you guys are my source of finding out what's going on with them, because I'm just like, every time I've tuned in, I'm just like, this isn't great. But this year, I feel like it's shaping up to be pretty interesting, especially with the potential of Ronda coming back. I think there was you said there was a rumor of Shane entering into the Rumble now.
Yeah, we'll get onto that.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm really stoked. I mean, I'm always excited for the Rumble. Like, Adam just posted up how I would book the Rumble 2022, and he opened it up with it's the most wonderful time of the year. Like, no matter what they do, no matter what this company does in the lead up to the Rumble, I'll always still be excited for the Rumble. It's just, I absolutely love it, really. And it is, I'm super stoked for this one. Obviously, we've got the Jamble tomorrow night as well.
Exactly.
Very, very excited for.
I'm going to beat that sock puppet.
Oh, I mean, let me get the there we go, the graphic.
I know, I saw the updated graphic with the freaking puppet in there directly next to me. How dare.
I originally did put the puppet next to Sullivan. I was like, I'm just going to move it up and just pop it next to Angela right there instead.
I mean, we are bitter rivals at this point.
So let's go through some of the surprises, potential returns that we've got here. So the 2 big ones, actually, it's the 3 big ones that we've got thus far. It was rumored during the week that Ronda Rousey is going to be making her WWE return. She is likely a lock for WrestleMania. That is kind of the word around it at the moment, where that was then sort of move forward into, if she's a lock for Mania, then there's every chance she's going to be at the Rumble. I believe her makeup artist is booked for the Rumble day, like in the area.
I think I heard that, yeah.
So that is kind of like what is fueling this speculation further. And you mentioned earlier, like you're excited that Ronda might be back.
I mean, it's interesting because she's always controversial, because she always gets people talking. So at least it's going to be some interesting storylines. I don't specifically like her that much. Like, I don't really want to see her come in and take it from people like, I mean, honestly, I want Rhea to win it. What I really want is I want Asuka to come back and I want her to take it. But I know that Ronda gets people talking, and so it'll at least be interesting in that way.
Sean actually made a really interesting point about this on Fightful as well, that if Ronda is in the Rumble and Ronda is coming back, that means that the women's storylines will be given a lot more time and effort, because that's what happened the last time she was here. Like, you know, exactly. Ronda was the reason why women were featured more on the show. Yep. Everyone like put in their best. Like, and I'm not taking away from anyone else. Becky did great. Charlotte did great. Bayley was doing, every single person was doing amazing. But the reason they were given that opportunity is because Ronda was there, and they really, really like Ronda. So if Ronda is back and Ronda is coming back, that means that we get more of that top level stuff again. And I've missed that really. Like,
exactly.
and also, like, there's some fresh faces in there that she can go against. I'd love to see Ronda versus Bianca. Like, I think that'd be amazing.
I agree. I think that would be a spectacular match. Like, Ronda versus Bianca would be so physical. It'd be great.
Yeah. So the match that I know a lot of people are thinking is like, oh yeah, Becky versus Ronda. That makes sense for WrestleMania. For me, I think, like, my big prediction is Ronda eliminates Charlotte from the Rumble, and it's Ronda Charlotte at WrestleMania. That's kind of where that's my bold prediction for the show.
I think that, I don't know, I feel like that seems likely, honestly, because those are two of their top stars. I mean, I know Becky is also a huge star and everything like that, but I feel like Charlotte is their biggest, and Ronda, obviously coming in, being from the MMA and everything, is going to be their next biggest or on equal par with her. And so just putting them together makes sense to me.
Totally makes sense.
It's also a little predictable, though, which is a little bit of a shame.
It is a little bit, yeah. And like, do you know what? It's one of those things, and obviously this is going to sound very hypocritical of what I'm about to say here. It's a shame that it leaked, and a lot of people are talking about it, because, like, man, that would have been an amazing surprise.
Oh, it would. It would. Like, that's the one bummer sometimes about the Rumble era or the Rumble time, I guess, is because you do get so many leaks nowadays that nothing actually ends up being that surprising. And WWE at this point is so predictable. I feel like we know who's going to win, even if we get somebody cool and exciting that actually shows up.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, even Edge a couple of years ago, everyone was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "Yeah, man, PW Insider did report like in October that he was likely going to be in the Rumble." I think a lot of people knew it was going to happen. It was kind of a terribly kept secret. It was like Punk coming back for AEW,
and that didn't really change anybody being excited about it, though. So hopefully it won't be too bad or anything. I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Ollie Davis cried.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk about the other one. And he is our thumbnail choice of really. And really, it should come as no surprise. WrestleMania season is around the corner. You need your top stars here. Shane McMahon is reportedly lined up to be one of the entrants in this year's Royal Rumble. And you know what's funny as well? Is there was a tweet that was doing the rounds like earlier last week that was just like, guys, Shane McMahon versus Austin Theory at WrestleMania. It just makes sense. And I'm like, yeah, that is quite cute. Yeah. Now that Shane is in the Rumble, I'm like, that really starts to line up a little bit. Are you possibly excited for a Shane McMahon sweaty return in the Rumble?
No, I mean, not really, honestly. Like, it's fine to see him back, and like everybody always gets hyped whenever a McMahon shows back up because they actually are not really seen on TV as often anymore. But I would love for that spot to go to somebody else. Although, you know what would be great is if the AEW potential entrant that might be coming into the Rumble ends up being MJF, and MJF takes out Shane. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be getting the AEW thing. Like Meltzer said, like it ain't happening. For me, like I think the Forbidden Door thing is like it is limited to Impact, and I think it is limited to just Mickie James. And I think that would probably be about it. I don't think we're going to see like Moose in the Rumble or anything like that. Which is
such a shame. Like if they're going to at least open it up to Impact, bring in more Impact stars, fill out the men's roster a little bit more too with some other people, and like actually have it be more interesting and be more like collaborative. but it's WWE.
I think they were really open to it. I really do think they are. And it just, but I think they were interested in people who previously worked there. So, you know, they would want like a Matt Cardona or a Brian Myers or something like that. And I think if you're not going to get those, you know, they reached out to the Iconics, you know, the Inspiration turned them down. And I think that if you are a former
I actually hadn't heard that.
Yeah. So the Inspiration, like they wanted them to be in there and they were both like, no. And the reason,
I don't blame them, but I am a little sad by that because I love the Iconics.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, me too. And I love the stuff they're doing in Impact as well. And I get it. Apparently the reason why is just that if they are going to make a WWE return, now is not the time. And I totally respect that. And I actually respect the brass to be able to say no. And I love that Mickey is on Impact and being like, I am in the Rumble and I am going to be there as Impact Knockouts champion. But I think it is at this point now, the fact that it's not being brought up on WWE TV, this is a Mickey James thing. This is an Impact thing. They're excited and WWE are just filling a spots. That's kind of the impression I get.
Oh, that's a shame. But at least Mickey James is coming back, so that's good.
So here is one of the other names that was in the same. So the Ringside News were the ones who reported that Shane McMahon was coming back. So do take that with a little pinch of salt. But the other name that they have got potentially into this Royal Rumble is Bad Bunny. Now, that seems weird, right?
Like, that's a little bit. I mean, but they're going to have Johnny Knoxville. Isn't he in the Rumble too? So
Knoxville is in the Rumble, but Knoxville's like pre-announced. And like, you know, if you think Bad Bunny, hey, he had that WrestleMania match last year. Same Shane hasn't had a match since Mania last year. It's sort of, oh yeah, I guess that sort of makes a little bit of sense. Then I think back to this past Monday's Raw, where they aired a promo for Bad Bunny's concert tour that he's doing. And when Ollie and I did the Raw review podcast, we were like, that's weird. Like, why are WWE promoting Bad Bunny's upcoming tour?
Unless he's coming to the Rumble.
Unless he's in the Rumble. And like, now that I've read that, I'm like, all of a sudden that
it makes sense.
Raw makes sense now. Like, if he's there to be the Rumble, part of the deal is I'll be in the Rumble if you promote my tour.
I mean, it seems like a pretty good deal for him. So why not, right?
And like, let's be honest, his Mania match last year was awesome.
Yeah, it was actually really
good. Oh, it was so good. So would you be excited to see Bad Bunny come back?
Honestly, yeah, I'm more excited to see him come back than I am Shane. Like, I'd rather see him and not that Shane doesn't care about wrestling or anything. I'm not going to claim that, but I don't care to see him anymore. But having other younger talent come in or just other people from different genres coming in doing stuff is actually a lot cooler to me.
The other name that has come out, and again, this is one that has apparently turned it down, is Jeff Hardy.
I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, so this came from Meltzer that apparently the WWE wanted Jeff to come back for the Rumble and have a Rumble appearance, and he turned them down. And Sean kind of added to this by saying that he hadn't heard the Rumble thing, but he has heard that WWE have been in contact with him about being inducted into this year's Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, like Matt Hardy said on his Twitch channel, like when Jeff got released, that WWE may have jumped the gun on firing him because of the erratic behavior that he had at the live show and people saying that he was on this, that, and the other. And Matt said, I think they jumped the gun on that. He's actually completely clean. And if that is the case, then WWE will be like, oh, cool, yeah, we'll bring him back and we'll put him in the Hall of Fame. And I guess it would have made sense also to put him in the Rumble and try and bring him back full time again.
I'm glad that he said no, though. Like, that he's not going to show up, because I don't really want to see the Hardys go back to WWE at this point, just with how they've treated them. Just hasn't been great, you know. Although him being in the Rumble would be cool, because it's always cool.
Well, that's the thing. That's what's great about being a wrestling fan, right? Like, we're sitting like, you know, I'd rather see them do this. However, being in the Rumble's really cool. Like, and that'd be a really cool moment for us, like for us as fans and stuff. And like, and that's it. We've got fans in arena for this year's Rumble. And
that's true.
I missed fans last year not being there for the Rumble.
I forgot we were actually getting fans this year. I guess it's more that I forgot that last year's didn't have fans. Yeah, it's going to be such a better Rumble now. Now I'm even more excited for it because it's going to be loud, unless they pipe in just a bunch of noise like they sometimes do. But
maybe. I don't think they will do this time. So
I don't think so. It's the Rumble. They should just be naturally loud.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'm kind of stoked that Jeff's not doing it. Because maybe it's just because, you know, I am 36 years old. I was a teenager in the year 2000. You know, I was like, the Hardy Boys were my boys. And so, like, I will always mark out for the Hardy Boys. 22 years on, I will always mark out for them. And if the Hardy Boys are reuniting, I'll be, and Jeff is well. That is my caveat to all of this. If Jeff is well, I'm totally on board. I'm more on board for that than I am Jeff going back to WWE.
Yeah. We just want him to be healthy is really the main thing, though.
That is exactly it, 100%. So that's kind of like our big Rumble names that we've currently got rumored to be in there. There are a couple of NXT names. LA Knight is one of them, the former Eli Drake. He filmed a spot on Raw, like a YouTube exclusive that they did, where he kind of like interrupted Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. And so there's a report now that he is main roster bound, so there's every chance that he'll be in the Rumble. Roderick Strong has been doing some stuff he's been doing dark matches before Raw and SmackDown, so there's every chance that he is also said to be called up as well. So if those NXT call-ups, I could certainly see I really expect see Roddy and I could see Roddy and Drake being in there.
Yeah, same, absolutely. I really just want Asuka to come back. That's really all I want.
That is what. So apparently, Asuka is back. Like,
Asuka is she actually though? Like,
that's not a confirmed thing. Okay, that is just like she is one of those potential returns. Exactly, it's a rumor and innuendo. Asuka and Bayley are like the two big names of like the potential returns coming in for the Rumble.
I forgot Bayley was out right now.
Yeah, I don't think Bayley. She kind of. Jokingly, I think it might have been an interview where she jokingly tweeted about it, saying like, I wish someone had told me that I was healed, like I was ready enough to come back for the Rumble. But Asuka, I think, is probably more of a lock. And apparently, like one of the reports I was reading is that Asuka's being off TV is not because she's injured. It's just that it's just because creative had nothing for her. Which is
not have anything for her. She's the Empress of Tomorrow. She should have all of the tomorrows.
It's the most maddening thing. It's like, we don't really know what to do with Asuka. Like, we are struggling to fill up our time. They don't know what to
do with a lot of people, though. Like, to be fair, WWE doesn't know what they're doing with like half of their talent at this point. I mean, hell, they haven't had Veer on, and they've been having him trying to show up for months and months and months. Do you actually think he's going to show up at the Rumble?
That apparently is. He's not at the Rumble.
He's not.
Apparently, like. The reporter, I honestly thought that's a lock, right? He makes his debut at the Rumble and gets that Veer pop because, like, the internet is just like, when will Veer come?
He should be number 29,
right? Or even number 1.
Yeah, no, he either needs to be number 1 and Iron Man it until like the very end, and then get thrown out by Brock or Roman, whichever one shows up in the Rumble because they lose their match, and then get tossed out.
Yeah. So the report is. Veer will not be at the Rumble. He will not be coming at this year's Royal Rumble, which is a real shame. We'll just have to sit there and wait for him to show up on Raw, I guess.
And then be really disappointed. It still doesn't happen.
It still won't happen. We'll still just get those video packages just being played over and over again saying, hey, he's coming.
They're going to actually push it till next Rumble, like 2023's Rumble. That's when he'll actually finally debut.
Playing them every week. The real long game.
Oh my God, that would be awful. Don't do that, WWE.
Also in the women's side of things, Paige is apparently a rumored return. She had to retire at a very, very young age because of an injury, but those are injuries that we have seen people come back from now. Like people like Edge and Bryan Danielson and things like that. So now there's like, maybe there's a chance that Paige could be one of them.
I think it's very likely. I don't know how I actually feel about it though, because I'm a little worried. Just when she was big and popular and like then left the industry, it was just so different. Like the women's division was so different. And I'm curious to see her actually go up against the 4 horsewomen, because we've never seen that, against Bianca, all of these people. Like I want to see how she actually handles it. Because like character wise, she's going to do amazing stuff. She has the personality out the wazoo to do it. But like, I just want to see what her in-ring performance is going to be like going forward, having been out for so long.
Right, because it's been a while. Like,
and not having had that much realistically like practice prior to that because of how young she was. She wasn't actually in the business for that long to really garner up a lot of skill and like just.
I don't know. I think she's been training since she was 14.
I guess that's true. I guess it's true. She has been training since she was really young because her family's wrestling. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. I hope she comes back. I want to see her back. Like it was bummer to see her leave before, and I want to see what she can do now against all the women that are currently in the division.
100%. Like she is one of those names that is. She was. I hate to use it away. She was taken from us far too soon in terms of her in-ring career, and I want to see more of what she can do. And yeah, you're right. Like there is this whole crop of names in there now. Yeah. Like Paige and Charlotte. Like Paige and Charlotte have done some stuff before, but now like this version of Charlotte, like this version of Becky,
yeah,
like that'd be so great.
It's gonna be so good. There's just so many people for her to go up against, and I'm curious how she's gonna do against them. Like I hope she's back. I want to see her in the Rumble.
The another name someone was posting in the comments there that could also be called up from NXT, former champion Raquel Gonzalez, which I think for me, like Raquel's done everything she can do in NXT, and I think at the moment since she's lost the belt and she's sort of like she's finished up her feud with Mandy, and now she's in this sort of like storyline where Cora Jade's just like, we could be tag partners, and she's like, no thanks. No. I think that I'd much rather just bring Raquel up, like bring Raquel Gonzalez up. And it's funny as well because like everyone is making the comparisons between her and Luisa from Encanto. I'm like, let's ride that wave. Like, let's ride this, because like Luisa's like the most popular character from Encanto. Let's ride this wave and get Raquel on TV.
Totally, let's do it. Bring more women onto television. That's all I want. More women wrestling. It'll be great.
A few other people are saying that they think Bron Breakker, current NXT champion, he was rumored to be in the Rumble. I think actually the report is he is going to be backstage at the show, but there's no. In it. Well, it's not a confirmation that he is in it, but he will be there at the arena, which for me feels like he likely is going to be in the Rumble. And yeah, someone is also saying Gunther or Gunther. I still don't know which pronunciation they're going with. I know the correct pronunciation is Gunther. We in fact had an email from the mayor of Pensacola, Dan, correcting us on this, but I think in WWE's mind it's Gunther. So
I think I feel like that's how they've been pronouncing it.
That's how I've been hearing it as well. So we'll certainly
maybe they're trying to differentiate it from the actual way it's supposed to be pronounced to separate it further.
It's more marketable if we call him Gunther, like the coffee guy from Friends.
Yeah, totally.
I feel like we've just said there a lot of names, right? And that, like, is that going to completely fill up the Rumble entries that we have? I'm just going to go and see if I can find a list of Rumble entrants that we've got.
Because there's a fair number of them announced, but not
so 22 names have been announced of the 30. So in our 22, no, just for the men's.
Just for the men's, okay.
So for the men's, that's 22. And then we've just said there, Shane, Bad Bunny, which takes us to 24, Bron Breakker, 25, Gunther, 26, Roddy, 27, who's the other one I just said? Eli Drake, 28. Yeah. I feel like we said another 2 as well. But I feel we are nearly getting to our
well, we said Veer, but we weren't. He's not actually going to be in it. So.
but what if he is?
Oh my God, Swerve.
Swerve he is actually entering the Rumble.
The best kept secret, actually.
And they've announced 21 of the women's Rumble entrants. So I think even with the list of names that we had there, like, you know, Raquel, Paige, Asuka, Bailey, all of this, I still don't even think we're like in near the 30, which means there are still room for those surprises that we haven't found out yet, which means tomorrow I'm staying offline. I am not like looking at anything. And like, sorry. Ty Marshall, thank you very much. Kurt Angle is apparently like in the building. Like he has been called there. He's in the building. No confirmation. This isn't like a Shane McMahon or Bad Bunny report where it's like he is slotted for the Rumble. This is he is there, but we don't know what that means.
I mean, if Kurt Angle showed up, that'd be amazing. Right? I would flip. Like that'd be so good. Come on, Kurt, come in at number 25.
Maybe get a better get a better retirement than he did last time.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Wouldn't
that be nice? Let's see what you've got to say about this in the Ultra Chats. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for joining us on this very impromptu stream. As a bit of backstage gossip of how this came about. Like the Eddie Kingston thing fell through. I was really bummed out about it. And I was messaging on being like, I'm bummed out. Like, you know, the show didn't go ahead. And he was like, did it when you're fun? I was like, yeah, I'm a bit bummed out about it. And then I was going through Twitter, going through my notifications, and someone messaged me being like, oh, so there's no show today at all? And I was like, but what if there was? And so, like, I messaged Mod Mother. I was like, if I wanted to do an impromptu stream, could we get a moderation team? And she was like, yeah. And so I messaged you being like, hey, like, are you available in the next, I don't know, 3 minutes if I want to do an impromptu?
And I was like, what's great about that? I was actually in the elevator about to leave to walk to the store for something. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to take that trip later. So I went back upstairs like, yes. So the reason there was a slight delay on my response was actually because I was waiting to come out of the elevator so that I actually had a signal.
Well, thank you so much for stepping in. And thank you all so much for joining us today, people watching at home. And thank you for joining in the chat. Support WrestleTalk.com/support. While you're clicking the links, wine52.com/WrestleTalk. Get yourself some free wine. Are you a wine drinker, Angela?
I'm actually not. I don't drink a lot of alcohol. Mostly hard liquors. And when I do, but even then, it's like not a lot. And it's usually in mixed fruity drinks, like not, straight.
Oh, I was about to say then, damn your metal.
I mean, I do drink. I've had some whiskey occasionally, but not much. Like, it's all right. But mostly pina coladas, man. Pina coladas.
Man. See, like I love a pina colada. I love a sex on the beach. I'm also a fruity cocktail man, but damn,
they're delicious. There's nothing wrong with drinking them. They're delicious.
They are delicious, but you know what? I do love myself a glass, and it is it is taking every fiber of my being not to open this tonight.
Pop it open right now and go to town.
Exactly. Well, because I'm having a takeaway curry tonight as well. I'm getting my tikka paneer dansak getting delivered to my front door, and what I really want then is a glass of red wine to go along with it.
I bet that'd be delicious.
I may even send my mother to the shops to go and get some wine, as I'm doing work. We have got a ultra chat in from some kanji letters who said, I'm so poor that I can't get into 40k, and I really wanted to collect all of the Adepta Sororitas stuff. Yes, thank you very much. I'm willing to spend my money to welcome Angela instead.
Yay! Well, thank you. They are gorgeous. He's talking about the Sisters of Battle, if you're familiar with the more common term. But they are nuns with guns.
Oh, I love that. Hold on. I'm just Google searching, image searching. Oh, they are cool.
They are so cool.
They are cool.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played Warhammer in many, many years. Like I'm a child of the 90s, so I played a lot of 40k, right?
Yes.
So like me and my brother played a lot of 40k. Blood Angels represent, and he was always Eldar as well. Boo the Eldar.
No, have you seen? They're getting new models, and they're so glorious. I'm so excited.
So like I played a lot of 40k when I was a kid. Then we all moved into Necromunda. Goliath represents, and I loved playing me some Necromunda, and then I just sort of fell out of it when I went to university and stuff because no one else was like into hobby gaming and that and the other.
I understand,
but I do quite enjoy watching stuff on your channel and stuff because I'm like, oh, painting is really fun.
Yeah, no, it's actually been cool. I think it was Pete messaged me. I was like, hey, one of my things that I want to do this year is painting. Can you give me some like tips and like what I should get to get started? And I'm like, absolutely, man. We'll do this. Let's get you painting some miniatures. It's a lot of fun. If you guys like the hobby and you want something just fun and relaxing to chill out doing, I would definitely recommend picking up painting miniatures.
Yeah, I mean, as a new father, I need like relaxing times, right?
It's really nice, and you can just have the baby off to the side, rock it every now and then apply some more paint to that model.
Laximham Nirasamham B, I'm sorry I say your wrong name every single time, said there's 8 unannounced men, 9 unannounced women, and a bazillion rumors. I'm gonna say Asuka, Ronda, maybe Cody. Speaking of board games, I'm spending quarantine playing 6-Nimit Yahtzee. I think it's 6-Nimit Yahtzee and King of Tokyo on BoardGameArena.com. Lots of fun. 6-Nimit on Board Game Arena rules. Like I've not
actually used Board Game Arena that much.
It's surprisingly really good. Like
it's awesome.
And certain games work better than others. Card-based games work really good, which is why like 6-Nimit works so good.
Yeah.
6-Nimit, I was talking to Adam about this the other day. Like, in my household, we have never said it as 6-Nimits because we've just always called it 6-Dammit because that is the phrase you use the most when playing the game.
I mean, that's fair. That's valid.
Yeah, so
they should just rename it for,
Yeah,
it would be great.
Who Wants to Play Six Damn It. I was in a I was going to try to sound really cool and cultured here. I was in a bar in Tokyo that I just discovered by accident. Like we were just strolling around looking for a bar, and I found this really cool like barcade basically. And it was just like video game stuff all around the walls and everything. Arcades around everywhere, just sort of like all like video game stuff everywhere. I was in my element. I loved it so much that they had they had a drinks menu where if you got a certain drink, you got given a badge. And the idea was you could collect all the badges.
Oh, did you get all of them?
Oh, I didn't get all of them. We were only there for like the one evening, but I did get like 4 or 5 badges.
Okay, you have to legit message me the name of this bar if you remember it, because I want to go to Japan one day and I have a bunch of like things that I need to do. And this sounds amazing. My husband and I love arcade bars. And we're also massive weeps. So it'll be perfect.
I've got all the badges over there and everything. I turned to my wife and I was like, I've got to get some of these badges, right?
Oh my God. That is so amazing. You have to send me a picture. I must see
I will
them.
do. Okay. So, anyway, so I was in this bar and we were like just playing on some of the arcades and stuff. I was showing my wife, she'd never played Bubble Bobble before. So I was showing her how to play, and she got massively into playing Bubble Bobble.
Nice.
And all of a sudden I looked to my left and there's a copy of Six Nimitz and I was like, wow. And it was like this Japanese like version of the game. And I was like, this is rad. And I took loads of pictures of it to send to my friends and be like, look what I just found.
That's so cool. I love seeing games in foreign languages. Like Japan has some gorgeous box art for some of their games, and then that are like also have English versions, but the Japanese box art for some reason is just so much better. And France gets some really gorgeous artwork too. Like Avalon has like the box art for Avalon is just like insane. And I love it. It's so good. Have you watched, this is randomly tangential. Have you watched the Dice Club game or anime that's about board games?
I have not.
Ask Adam about it. That's not the full name of it. I can't remember the full name off the top of my head right now, but it's something Dice Club. And it's about board games and these girls playing board games. And I think you'd like it.
Oh, I think I would probably love it as well. Like I'm very bad when it comes to anime. Like
so am I. I've fallen completely out.
Exactly right. Like I will watch like a full series and be like, I'm going to watch something else, and then I just never do. And then it'll be like a few years later, I'll be like, I'm going to get back into it, and then I never do again. And I'm like, and then I get so many recommendations, and I'm really bad at following up on them.
That's totally fair. It's after school Dice Club is what it is, because it's a bunch of high school girls that have a board game club at their high school. It's so cute. Just if you get around to watching anything, watch that
one. King of Tokyo, I'm not. Yeah,
I've never played it.
I like the idea of it, but I never really. I was talking with Laurie about this. Like, I feel like we're going way off topic now, but like every time I've played it, I'm like, I feel like this should be better. Like, there's a lot of waiting around, particularly if you're in a multi-person game. There's a lot of waiting around for your turn to get in, and a lot of that is then based on luck. It's all based on dice rolls and stuff.
Right.
Godzilla Tokyo Clash, I think, is the far superior version of it, and I really, really like Godzilla Tokyo Clash. Nice.
Is that the one that you've had in the box that you've had in a few videos occasionally?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. Oh, dude, it's so good. Mayor of Painesville, Dan, has said, I just want to let you guys know that I hope you're feeling good. Sometimes cancellations happen. Lovely to have a new face on this show instead. Thank you for making it possible. Much positive entry, Dexter Loomis for the Rumble.
I would love to see Dexter come up and enter into the Rumble. I love his character. Tempest has no idea what he's talking about. Dexter Loomis is amazing.
I was about to say, like, oh, you are coming into some good like company here, because not many people around here like Dexter Loomis.
Why? I don't understand. It's so good. It's just so good. Listen, people like serial killers characters, I guess, and that's kind of what he's doing. So it works really well.
The pause there, I'm just like, people like serial killers, right?
I mean, they do. Look at Hannibal and like all of that,
Dexter,
right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Laximan back again said, if Ronda is back, the feud they need to do is proper Ronda Becky. But of course, WWE all over it and book Ronda Charlotte. If only they booked her right, they could have done Rousey versus Baszler.
Oh my God. Okay. Yes. Okay, talk about somebody who else I actually would love to see win the Rumble. Shayna Baszler. I love her. She's also a Warhammer fan. I love whenever she wears the Space Marine themed gear. I hope she has one for the Rumble. That'd be amazing. That'd be so good. Yes.
I would love to see a proper full Shayna Baszler push.
Yes.
I'd love it so much. We have been on the Baszler train since day dot in WWE.
She's so good.
Yeah, she's
so amazing. I did not expect her to be my favorite of the 4 horsewomen from MMA, like genuinely. But she just is so good.
We've also just got this. Dan here said, "Yeah, my new favorite member of the extended WrestleTalk family."
Yay! That's right. I'm going to steal all of your fans. It'll be number 1. A championship will have to be mine.
I'd have to hand it over to you as a mark of respect.
Exactly.
Anthony C said, "I had no idea Angela was a wrestling fan. I love you both. Also, we need Sean Ross Sapp to play Blood on the Clock Tower. I'm sure I'm not the only one who wants this. It would be awesome to see LIW in Blood on the Clock Tower. It was awesome to see LIW in Blood on the Clock Tower. Sean would be so weird in Clock Tower.
He would be so stressed. He would be so stressed. I don't know if he could handle it.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, I don't know how Sean would react to Clock Tower.
I don't know either. That's why, because I feel like he would just... It would be amazing. I think it'd be great. We should see about getting him on.
Laximham back again to say, imagine after all the speculation on the NXT entrance, they do a complete troll the fans thing and it's Joe Gacy. Although it would be nice to see Carmelo Hayes, maybe even Ciampa. On the women's side of things, Raquel Gonzalez, Io Shirai, and maybe Cora Jade. Io Shirai is a great shout, actually.
That would be great.
Yeah, that is also someone who has done everything they need to do in NXT, get their ass up to the main roster. Cora Jade's an interesting one.
Yeah, no, that she would be cool. She would be cool to see. My one concern with bringing all the women up to the main roster is I feel like they get lost because WWE doesn't do anything with their women's division. That's my only concern. As much as I want to see all the NXT women actually go up and be on the main roster and potentially get more screen time, they never do. Never do.
I just wanted to bring this article I was reading up here. So this is from The Observer, just on reference to Joe Gacy. Apparently, Joe Gacy is someone that Vince McMahon loves. He loves the gimmick down in NXT because he's this, as the way that it's been described here, psychotic, woke cult leader.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the guy that's doing the cult Republican-y-ish
stuff. I don't really it's basically a bad version of Right to Censor.
Yes.
And sort of done without any of the goodness that was in Right to Censor.
Yeah.
And sort of the tongue-in-cheek nature of it. I feel like it's done quite spitefully. But apparently, this is from The Observer. While Shawn Michaels is in charge of creative for NXT, he has to follow directions from the top, which is Vince McMahon having the final say. McMahon reportedly wants to push Joe Gacy on the brand as he believes the character will get the company mainstream publicity. So if you don't like that Joe Gacy character, I think he is going to be around for a little bit longer. So there's every chance he might be in the Rumble.
I mean, I'm not really surprised. I'm also not surprised Vince wants to push him, but just call me disappointed.
Zareth the First said, question for Angela. Question for Angela. Thoughts on how Time Stories ended up?
I have played through Expedition, and I haven't done here, but I have checked out their newer, which are off screen. Their newer ones that are standalone, and I really like the standalone ones a lot. I do really like Time Stories. I personally would recommend trying it out if you've not before and you like mystery solving time shenanigans. But the original version of it is probably the OG game. The first one is probably my favorite. So if you don't like it, don't feel bad. Just move on to the ones that don't continue the storyline, because there's a really loose plot between them, which I don't really think amount to anything. I haven't finished it again. But I do like Time Stories a lot. Hence why I own all of them.
Yeah, right. What can I expect if I picked one up?
So Time Stories is a cooperative game, and you are time agents who end up going into the bodies of other people in whatever time periods they're going into. And the very first one is you've gone into an asylum and you're trying to figure out what's going on in the asylum because it's being extra weird. And I don't want to spoil too much because it's a really story-driven game. But the nice thing about it, and the reason that I originally picked it up, is because it actually has a pause mechanic built into it, because it can take a little bit of a longer time. You can actually pause, put the game completely back into its box in a save state, and then bring it back out and come back to it. And you can do that with every single of the expansions, because you just keep using the base game as your save state, basically. So I really, really like it as a fun cooperative game if you're wanting to do something very narrative driven.
That's really interesting to me, because I'm starting a board game club with my dad friends.
Nice.
Each Sunday every month, a Sunday every month. At least we're doing one Sunday in February. And so we're kind of looking for a game that we wanted to get into, a legacy game. So that might be
okay.
If it's got a
pause
mechanic.
Here's the thing though. If you want to do legacy, just do how many of you are there going to be?
We got 4.
Okay. Betrayal Legacy. Just play Betrayal Legacy.
That's what we were looking at, but we couldn't get a copy for love nor money. That's what we were looking to do.
Okay. Well, honestly, in that case, I will send you some recommendations.
Thank you very much.
Because I definitely have some recommendations for some stuff, especially are these people who play games a lot, or are they new to board gaming?
Oh no, we're very much into the hobby.
Okay, cool.
We just don't get to do it very often because we're
awesome. Well, I'll send some recommendations your way then. I have tons.
Chris is in the chat to say, what's Alexa Bliss up to tomorrow? Worse for me, there's no mentions of her. Best Iron Woman and winner. She's given a good showing, and it sets up the Charlotte match. So Chris, last I heard on this, and it wasn't a report, it was actually just something that Sean was alluding to on the Fightful stream, is that she's not in the Rumble, and her therapy sessions are going to run until Mania. That is sort of kind of what he was alluding to. I'm not saying that I am not saying that that's what he's reporting. That is just the impression that I got from the way he was talking about it with Denise. But from what I can gather, she is not going to be in the Rumble, which kind of makes sense a little bit, because the last therapy session that they did on Raw didn't have a conclusion. That is an ongoing thing. So I just don't get the impression she's going to be in the Rumble tomorrow.
Who do you think she's going to end up fighting then? Because that obviously means that they're setting her up to take on somebody who has the belt.
Well, I think Flair. Flair makes the most sense, because because Flair's the one that destroyed Lily. So Flair makes the most sense for her to come back and face.
So then maybe they're not actually going to have Ronda go after Flair then.
Yeah.
Unless it's not for a title match. Because I guess that's the one thing, is if Flair still has the title, right? She has a title right now. Am I not? Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't watch them. So I'm I think she still has the title. If she has a title still, and if Ronda doesn't end up going after her, and Alexa Bliss ends up doing it, then maybe they will finish Becky and Ronda.
Could be. And lastly, we've got here, Peter Mullins says, Angela! Also, hi, Luke. Thanks for the impromptu stream. Thank you guys for everything you do. I've gotten back into board games thanks to No Rolls Barred and Blood in the Clock Tower, and has helped my wife embrace her inner nerd. You guys have got her playing D&D, and I love it. Thank you so much.
Next, we just need to get her painting miniatures.
Yeah, there was a period of time when the WrestleTalk podcast intro and outros just became me, Pete, and Laurie just talking about our various D&D campaigns.
Hey, there's some great campaigns that people have out there, and talking about them is how we all get to share and come up with new cool ideas of what to do in our next ones.
And lastly, NS Ogre, who's been a member for 6 months in a row. Thank you so much. It said, it's all about the
wow. Absolutely it is. I'm working on building my orc army right now. Got it halfway. I've got 500 points painted or so.
Oh man. Okay, so one of our producer Rich, editor Rich, he's big into his 40k as well. Nice. And we have been just talking for the last year or so about doing it, and I've had tabs open, putting things into baskets, and then not doing it because I'm I have not got this sort of money to be spending on on miniatures.
Dude, it is expensive. It is an expensive hobby.
It's an expensive hobby.
To be fair, though, board gaming is as well. It's all luxury, so we got to keep that in mind.
But also at the same time, I'm oh man, it's so expensive, but I really want to do it. So it may be something that we do in the new year.
Honestly, the best way to do it is get the box sets. If you can find somebody to split the army sets that they do, you can get some pretty good stuff. Also, the combat patrols are actually a pretty good way to get started, because most of the combat patrols modernly, if you're not playing hyper competitive, which I don't know anybody who does, you could get a perfectly good army out of those boxes with just a few extra things. So you don't really have to go super huge into it. They just make you feel like you got to go super huge into it.
I think we're going to draw this to a close. Angela, thank you so much for joining us on this show today. I really appreciate you taking the time out and for delaying your shopping trip so that you can come and chat with me for 45 minutes about the Rumble. We will be seeing you tomorrow night in the Royal Jamble. It is now an 11-person Royal Jamble. The winners of each of the Rumble matches will get a shot at the champion at WrestleJamia's Night 1 and Night 2. You are coming after, you have got entries number 1 and number 2. And 25.
Yeah, I could either be in the Rumble the entire time or very little.
You're just going to be looking to get rid of that darn sock puppet.
I am going to destroy that sock. I have been working on my punches. I've been tearing things, working on ripping fabric so I can just absolutely wreck that sock. Also, the next time he's in Blood on the Clock Tower, I'm coming for him. Adam, too, for giving him his spot.
We've also got me versus Pete for the Jam That Championship. It is my first title defense against the former champion Pete Quinnell. I have to prove that I can beat him. It's the most honorable thing for me to do. That will be tomorrow on the WrestleTalk podcast. But Angela, why don't you tell us a bit more where we can find your work?
You can find me on all social media at hobby_night. That's on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I think technically TikTok, but I don't use it, so don't go there. Really, if you wanna see the most of what I'm doing, definitely check out my YouTube page because I post 3 times a week now. Hobby video, hobby news. So if you're wanting to keep up to date with really what's going on with Warhammer and also just board games and stuff in general, check that out. And then I also have a Let's Play series now. So I've been playing through Space Marine 1 because I'm super excited for Space Marine 2. And then Total War Warhammer 3 is coming soon. And it's going to be awesome.
We're going to leave here with Harry saying, God, I hope Sock Puppet Sullivan wins the Jamble.
How dare.
Thank you all so much for joining us on this impromptu stream. We will see you tomorrow for the Royal Rumble live reactions. Take care, everyone. Oh, also go to wine52.com/WrestleTalk. Get yourself a free case of 3 delicious bottles of wine. We will see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.